Hey everybody, welcome back to Pixel Junkies.
Hello.
You're listening to the Pixel Junkies podcast, episode 142. I'm one of your hosts, Rory DC.
Look, I'm Aaron.
I'm Jordan.
Not Jordan the Marvel Coker. It's been a little while since we busted out now.
Yeah, it's still me.
Star Wars Day. Oh my God.
I'm Jordan the Rebel Coker.
Did you say you were Adam? Where's that song in the movie?
It was at the end of the original theatrical cut of Return of the Jedi, but it got replaced by the Victory theme, which was much better.
It is much better. That's good. We're playing Battlefield 2, the Resurrection episode they added.
Battlefront 2.
That's what I said.
You said Battlefield 2.
Battlefield. We're playing Battlefield 3, the Resurrection campaign.
Of Christ.
Yep.
Can I skip this?
Nah, you leave it on. It's not a super long episode anyway, and we're padding out the time here while we wait to go to episode 8 in 2 hours. Well, yeah, I guess we're going in about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So we got our whole podcast line up here, which kind of included at some point Star Wars theories, but
we can't really do
asshole
that.
Rory over here has already seen the movie, so we can't really say anything without Rory going,
look later! They don't die.
Why'd you see it without us?
Well, I was offered an opportunity to see it.
And one does not simply turn down Star Wars tickets, I guess.
Yes, you do.
What?
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't. You might. I definitely do not. Yeah, after we had gotten our tickets, or Caroline got a text message that said, "Do you and Rory want to go to Star Wars?" And we were like, "Yeah."
There's another.
Fuck that.
So we ended up going with the employees of a local software development company.
Oh wow, local software development company.
Are they the guys that had a hand in this game?
Who do podcasts?
No, they are not. No,
Isn't there some local teams that had some stuff to do with these guys?
Maybe we didn't. We went with like a finance fraud investigation. Software company.
Of course, those guys.
Because they got to go to the Star Wars.
Is this Verifin?
As opposed
it was.
Yeah,
I
know.
Which is what?
I'm not a stupid idiot like a look.
You're gonna have to mute Adam's mic because he's talking over.
Shout out to Verifin, hashtag not an ad.
Not an ad, but they got to. They booked out a bunch of theaters to go to Star Wars this morning at like 9 o'clock.
So you've seen it today?
Yeah.
Well, you would have.
Stinky dick licker.
Good music mouse.
But so anyway, so we got our first topic is about the first episode of Grand Tour.
Well, yeah, we.
Oh, it's a good thing we're getting right into this.
Well, so
Star Wars comes out. The first thing everybody wants to know is 3 fat guys.
We didn't have a podcast last week, Adam, and that's when it came out. So we're catching up.
Plus, there's only so much we can say about Star Wars.
It's only the first episode now.
2 episodes now.
There's
2 episodes out now because it's been 2 weeks. But second season started.
It's the second season though.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, man, it's been like the guys were waiting around for a long time.
Well, it's like episode.
Spoiler
15 around now.
Okay.
Stop talking at him. I'm just gonna mute your mic.
Good.
All right.
I won't talk at all during this podcast. Then mute silence until I can get to play this fucking game.
All right. Adam's impatient, looking at cutscenes. The best thing about Star Wars is the story, but fuck that. Get to the shooting bit. Anyway, so yeah, the Grand Tour started again, and they've restructured it a little bit. They got rid of the American guy who was driving the cars. They got rid of effectively, I don't know, they smoothed out all the rough edges of the show and made it more about just cars and screwing around.
Is it more like Top Gear finally?
I mean, yeah, I would say it's essentially just Top Gear now, but they've definitely rounded out the edges.
That's good.
It seems to be less segmented. Here's a thing, here's another thing, here's a celebrity car, here's another thing. I mean, they did used to do challenge episodes where they would have basically one video for the entire episode, and now that seems to be basically the show. They'll do a car review here and there, and then they'll just do a big long challenge where they're doing they're not even really. It doesn't even seem like they care much anymore about what the thing is. We just watched an episode before you got here, Jordan, which is the first episode where it's past, present, and future, and they're just which is best, and then they just drive around for an hour. It's not like it doesn't seem like they put a whole lot of thought into trying to justify the reason they did the thing. They're just
it's just fun. It's like a story for one episode. Yeah.
Cool.
People just want to see him driving around in cars and doing skids and stuff, and that's the show.
This is a long ass fucking cutscene.
Tell me about it.
And now
do I get the plane?
Long ass for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that 30 frames you see? But
But
anyway,
What's that?
this cutscene was at 30 frames. Now it's at 60 frames.
Oh wow.
See the big old difference. So I mean, massive spoilers if you haven't played the base game of this, but apparently nobody cares about it. So who cares?
I don't give a fuck. I'll never buy the game.
But this DLC takes place just before Episode 7 and during Episode 7. And it's pretty good. It's, I don't know, maybe an hour, 2 hours long. It's not massive. Stuff? This particular DLC.
And the game itself?
The game itself is 4 or 5 hours.
Was this free?
It was free, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's trying to redeem yourself.
Well, no, that's not trying to
kill you in your sleep.
That's not trying to redeem themselves. The DLC was going to be free from day one.
All DLC?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the big selling points about Battlefront. Even at EA, that's one of the things they announced.
Yeah.
So that's why they put the microtransactions into the goddamn game. But that also tells me that they didn't finish the fucking game before they fucking put the thing out.
No, I think their intention was they didn't want to just, like, yes, I'm not disagreeing with you. Yes, there's probably like 5 hours of game that's not released yet that's totally finished.
Yeah.
But I think they did that on purpose. Like, here's a big episodic, kind of, it goes through all, like, it pretty well just picks up around, I guess it takes place before Episode 6 and then leads through Episode 6 up to Episode 7. That's the base game. It's like it's the Return of the Jedi storyline. And it kind of covers, like, you're on Naboo and stuff, and Leia's in it. Like, it's pretty well, your cop out. Here's every little facet of Star Wars in one storyline. It's pretty good. Me and Adam have issues with it that we've talked about before. But then, rather than just developing the multiplayer side of the game, like, they'll pump out new maps and new modes and everything now and then. But then they'll also release a new episode to, like, continue the story. And it's good because, like, the way they finish the main story, it ends right around the time the First Order's like starting to rise, and then that's like, okay, now here's Episode 7. And then this episodic bit is like, here's what happened, like, on the other side of Episode 7.
Cool.
With some stuff. And there are some parallels with Episode 7 that it actually does a pretty good job with. There are some things that I was kind of curious about it. I did that so many times, it's embarrassing. It's like, why didn't certain things happen in Episode 7? And this kind of explains a couple of them that I enjoyed. So it's cool. It's free, so, I mean, if you own the game, try it.
So I guess since we're playing Star Wars, we should probably talk about the Disney story that we have on the docket.
Probably, yes.
So Disney purchased a sizable portion of Fox.
Which is awesome, because Fox is
not.
so racist.
It's a good thing and a bad thing.
So
at least
Mostly
now they're
bad
only
thing.
anti-Semitic.
That's how that works.
So we're gonna I want to highlight a few details of this that I think don't get in, like, a whole lot of attention, which is that Fox owned a lot of things which Disney now owns.
Yeah.
Like, Fox itself owns a lot of shows. That's interesting in and of itself. But what's really interesting was the 30% of Hulu which Fox owned. And Disney already had 30% of Hulu.
That's the interesting bit?
In my opinion, that's one of the interesting bits.
Now they own more than half.
Now they have own more than half of Hulu. The remaining bit is mostly owned by Comcast.
Yes.
And so, because Disney's coming out with their own streaming service. So I think it's highly likely that they're just going to retrofit Hulu with all their Disney shit, and now all their extra Fox shit.
Yeah, I don't know why they would do that, though, if they're coming out with their own streaming service. Like, you're saying retrofit, but...
Like, I think they're just going to rename Hulu the Disney
I don't
streaming
think
service.
so.
And interesting.
Well, I feel like, why would they... I don't know, I guess they're earning revenue from Hulu now.
They're earning revenue and Hulu already has an established, like, server structure.
Yeah,
right?
I think it just makes perfect sense. Like, fucking just combine
it's reuse of resources,
that might restructure what Disney already has in place, like, or planned. But
that's presuming that they didn't have this as part of their plan. However.
Yeah, I still feel like they'll introduce their own service.
Like, we found out about this after the streaming service, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean they found out about it after the streaming service.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They might put some more stuff on Hulu, but I still feel like Disney movies and Marvel and Star Wars and all that stuff is going to be on Disney's own streaming service.
I don't know. I think they're just going to rename Hulu Disney.
Well, why would you do that?
Because they already have like a server structure.
Yeah,
like
but if you can only get
the back
Captain
end
America on their own streaming service, then that's 2 platforms.
No, I'm saying they're not going to introduce a new streaming service. They're just going to use Hulu.
Yeah, but what Aaron's saying is that why wouldn't you have 2 streaming services that people are willing to pay for?
Exactly.
Oh, because I don't think they have enough content to put on. Well, now that they own Fox, you could make a case.
Yeah.
I
feel like that's probably what will happen because.
Okay, I have 3 very important things that I'm thinking about right now.
Okay, go ahead.
2, sorry.
Okay, 2 things.
Maybe 3. Let's
Actually,
see.
1.
Okay.
Oh my God, Jordan, get on with it.
Number 1, they now own X-Men. Fine fucking league.
And Fantastic Four.
Well, fuck them. But they own X-Men. That means that the X-Men can finally be incorporated with the actual Marvel Universe.
Yeah, and I guess if Rip Roney, that fucking the Kids of X-Men spin-off or whatever they're going to do after Logan. That's not going to happen now.
I fucking hope not, because that's garbage. That's a stupid idea.
I mean, I guess.
Well,
I thought they were good in Logan.
Yeah, but I mean...
At least the girl was pretty good.
Yeah, you know, like the 15 minutes of fame or whatever. Like, it's not an established character that fucking brings Cyclops into the fucking, you know, Avengers universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of shit I'm excited for.
And they probably will do that. Like with Infinity War 2, now that they own X-Men, they probably won't make it into Infinity War.
No.
Maybe if they do a couple, like, little set pieces that they can kind of just, you know, stitch into the movie. But I feel like for Infinity War 2, the X-Men will absolutely be in it.
Yeah.
What's your second? There were 2 things.
So, Joss Whedon worked on the first Avengers movie.
That's right.
So that means he has an established
And the second one.
Okay, that means he has an established relationship with Disney, which could mean the potential for, like, Angel and fucking...
Because, as you know, Fox owns...
Exactly.
Yeah,
and but from an idealistic standpoint, Disney's has in the past, like, 20 years, has been like, holy shit, we realize that people want these things, so we've been trying to establish it. It was just bringing... Like,
you're saying they're more likely to do it than Fox was back in the
exactly.
day. Because Fox obviously doesn't give a shit about Joss Whedon for whatever reason.
Exactly, and clearly Joss Whedon has a terrible relationship with Fox.
Yeah, really though.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm thinking is, like, there's a lot of potential for all this fan fiction, like, favorite shows to make comebacks or restart or... Like the Fox universe,
they're not gonna continue Firefly. What they're going to do is or Buffy or Angel or anything. They're gonna they're gonna have a reboot. So it's not gonna be the same people involved.
I think there was talking about Buffy reboot anyway, wasn't there?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, really?
Good luck getting Sarah Michelle Gellar.
No, she's not gonna do it.
She might do a
she's
fucking
like 40
cameo or
something now,
something.
isn't
she also never really showed much interest in doing anything to do with Buffy.
Oh man.
Well, at least past season 5.
Yeah.
She was like, all right, we're done with the show now, right? Like, actually, 2 more.
Now, to be fair, she had the right idea there.
Yeah.
To be real though, like,
well, I wouldn't.
What's more with feeling, man?
Yes, season 5, like, go out on a high note. I totally agree. Season 5 was the best.
Fucking Angel
Season
did that,
sucked.
man. Like,
yeah, Angel.
Well, not really.
I feel like Angel was short-lived, though. I feel like it was short-lived. They should have one more season.
Well, I mean, they were supposed to have one more season, but but I still think they did a good run of that show.
Totally.
But because, like, not because it wasn't on a high note, it totally was, but they just didn't wrap stuff up.
Yeah, that show wasn't finished 100%. Yeah. So yeah, that's also an interesting point, Jordan. But this really does it. Like we were saying, how I thought it was that Disney didn't have enough stuff to really solidly make a competition with Netflix. Netflix, it would just be like another thing, another service for specialized things. Like, but now they kind of do. Like, there's a lot of shit.
Well,
that's a lot of fucking
Fox
TV.
shows already on Netflix.
There's a lot of Fox shows on Netflix. That's right. A fuck ton. It's crazy. I haven't actually gotten a number. I should have before we did this.
At the same time, the Disney movies are coming out on Netflix as well. So I kind of like the idea.
For now.
For now,
yeah, they're definitely cutting that off.
You got defeated.
I would love to see both. Like, you know, if you subscribe to one service, maybe Disney has a fucking 10% in fucking Netflix in the same sense. Like, you know, the whole content thing. It's like, it's kind of getting annoying now that I need to sign up for. It's just like buying channels.
Yeah, it's just like buying channels.
Yeah,
it's like. It's no different now than going out and being like, okay, well, I need 60 channels for my TV, like HBO.
It's a
that's what these people don't get. The convenience of Netflix. It's the same thing like we talk about with Steam, is that everything's in the one fucking place.
Yeah.
If you like, the convenience of Netflix isn't just that it's online, because everything's fucking online.
Yeah.
It's also convenient. It's more of a convenience monetary. It's like it's an equal parts convenience, time saving wise. So you don't have to run to the store to pick up a movie that you have to return
even
after a weekend. It's also a convenience monetary wise because you can now pay. Was it $9.99 a month for access to all of these TV shows and movies that you would normally have to pay $9.99 for one for?
And it's to the point where it's more convenient than stealing it. Like,
exactly.
It's faster to just go on Netflix and watch something and download it.
Which is why streaming services like Spotify and stuff exist now for musicians. Which, from an artist standpoint, kind of sucks. If because like for a small name artist, it makes more sense to have album sales because you make more money as a result of it all. Like, if I put out an album and I sell it, then as an independent artist, I would make, of the $10 that the album goes for, I paid $4 to buy it. So that means I get $6 as an artist. Kanye West would get fucking 50 cents for each album because he's got to go to management. He's going to sell more albums. He's going to make more money in the long run. But from a streaming standpoint, if he does 1 million streams... For him, that's great money. There's advertising, there's sponsorships and everything. But as a small-time artist, if I only get 500 plays, I might make $10 max.
Well, it was like when Radiohead had the pay what you want for a record.
Exactly.
And like they asked Josh Homme from Queens of Stone Age about it, and he was like, that's great if you're Radiohead.
Exactly.
It's great if everyone knows who the fuck you are.
Yeah, now, he's also a character this week. But
oh, that's true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a bad week for Josh as well.
Did he get some harassment lawsuit or something?
Oh,
no, he kicked a female photographer in the face. Yeah.
Is that not harassment?
Well, I mean, I guess you could make a case for that.
It's assault. Harassment.
Yeah.
Well, that's the flavor of the year. It seems like. Some dude's name appears in the news. It's because he harassed some woman.
There's a lot of bullshit on it. Well, not bullshit, but there's a lot. Well, from the male perspective,
it is bullshit.
I'm really nervous about these sonic charges that you're deploying here, Lee Mackay.
What?
Well, he's deploying sonic charges in space, which is...
I thought they were seismic.
No, they're sonic.
I just said seismic.
It doesn't matter. There's nothing to seismic and there's nothing to sonic.
Well, you can still explode something in space. Whatever.
And it'll perpetuate forever.
Are
you Googling explosions in space?
What are you Googling?
Seismic emitters or something.
He's Googling explosions in space. How does an engine work? An engine is
combust oxygen.
Yeah, it's an explosion. So that's what propels you forward in space.
Well, if you can't ignite something. Well, you can have an open flame in space. You just need a gas to burn.
Exactly.
And as soon as that's extinguished, then.
But you'll go forever in space, which is pretty cool.
What is seismic charge?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because remember in episode 2, out of the slave one, they released seismic charges.
Is that what the
cool sound
effects?
What?
Jar Jar Binks. Jar Jar.
That's what they had. The blue orbs, isn't that seismic?
Yeah.
That's what they were.
Yeah,
right?
Django was launching them in.
Django was launching them at Obi-Wan's cruise.
In an asteroid.
But yeah, so
But to go back to Star Wars,
Marvel
now owns the distribution rights to all the movies.
Oh, that's right too. That was a point. Yeah.
So we might be getting R&D specialized versions.
We won't be because they don't care enough.
I don't know. I think Disney.
I think Disney cares
enough people,
more than most.
Oh wait, you're serious? Let me laugh even harder. They don't give a flying fuck about anything. They care about making money.
Yeah. So if it's something that's profitable,
so why wouldn't they do that?
They're going to look into it.
They probably don't think it's going to be profitable.
That
would be my guess. If I was some,
I feel like if they just have the original film for the film, like for those movies, there's like no effort in it at all. There's got to be those versions of the movie sitting around somewhere.
Totally.
All they got to do is put them on Blu-ray. There you go.
Yeah.
I want it to happen too. I just don't think it will because I honestly don't think that they care enough.
I mean, they're already on Blu-ray, but the specialized versions.
But like, what's the specialized version?
Like the despecialized, like to take all the changes out that George Lucas made, but all the CG and shit.
Oh.
Like where there's like friggin' things that the stormtroopers are riding and all the shit going on, like the song in episode 6. It's so fucking stupid. No, not that. The friggin'
he's talking the Jabba the Hutt. Yeah.
Like the straight up musical number with the rap dude. It's so fucking yeah, pretty well. There's a lot of potential for what could happen here. None of it's gonna kick in for a little while, of course. Yeah.
Unless it's already happening.
Oh yeah, but like all of this stuff will,
But they were so quick with the Marvel stuff, though.
What do you
mean? When they bought Marvel, they were like, "Oh yeah, we're putting out everything." And Star Wars when they bought Lucasfilm, they were like, "Boys, guess what? We got a Star Wars movie coming out next year," and everybody was like, "Holy shit!" So it
was still 2 years though since they announced the partnership.
Still, but
it's a short amount of time. I agree.
It's a short amount of time,
especially from when the time that Disney had the rights to use Spider-Man in an MCU movie, and him being in an MCU movie was a very short period of time.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
But that's because I would say in behind the scenes, it's like they had already closed the deal. They just hadn't publicly announced anything, and then they went and shot pickups. Where, I mean, that's why Spider-Man's barely in Civil War.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, right? Like, Disney's known about this for a while. It's not like this is news to them, right? Like,
so at this point, they could be filming pickups for X-Men to put into Infinity War or something. Maybe even Deadpool. I don't know if he's MCU now as well. Like, so I mean, it like in that side of the story, like now that Marvel or Disney owns pretty well all of Star Wars. And they own the rest of Marvel, all the pieces that they were missing. That's good, because now they have, like, the full box of toys to play with.
Yeah.
Marvel or Disney owning something else is probably not good, because it's like at some point they're getting close to a monopoly where it's like, okay, you're not allowed to own anything else. You own too much stuff.
It's almost like there should be laws set up in the state in order to prevent this sort of thing from happening, prevent one fucking company from owning the entire market. Oh wait, they exist, except everybody ignores them because the entire country is a fucking full of fucking assholes.
What's your problem, Adam?
What's my problem?
Yeah, let's talk about Adam's problem.
My problem is I don't think this deal should have happened.
Why not though?
Because it's... On the one hand, I am happy that finally we're going to get, X-Men in the MCU. That's great. Don't get me wrong. It really is. Disney owning the rights for all of Star Wars. That's great as well. Maybe, and, you're right. Maybe they'll bring back some long-lost gems that's kind of stored in Fox's basement. Like, it'd be great to see some more Futurama. I doubt they'll make that, but it'd be great to see, Firefly or Dollhouse or, any of those shows. Maybe they'll even cancel Simpsons and finally put that fucking thing out of its misery. The problem is this shouldn't have been allowed to happen because Disney is already like the 5th most powerful company in the world, and I think they are in terms of telecommunication or
media entertainment.
Media. They're the 5th most powerful media conglomerate. I think they just jumped up to number 1 with this purchase. I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure how you would quantify something like that, but they're already very powerful.
I believe they were the second
and I think they
most
were made
profitable.
even more powerful to be like. Let's use a Star Wars example. Saying Emperor Palpatine, you were already powerful with one Death Star. We're going to build you an even bigger one. That's good. That's what you need, right?
I don't know.
But if they're it's like Elon Musk owning the energy corp. He's doing good.
Yeah, but
are Disney doing bad?
I mean, it doesn't matter. They're extremely powerful. It's human nature. That at some point along the line, they're going to start fucking everyone else over in order to gain more profit.
It's a bit idealistic, I agree. So far, Disney hasn't done anything malicious as far as I can see. Nothing seems too ridiculous. In fact, I would say, I think there was proof that the reason that this game's microtransactions got removed was because of Disney. Talking to EA, saying, fucking fix this. This is bullshit. So, yes, it is idealistic. I agree, but
fucking arm on that
at some point, it's profitable because people want it. Yeah. It as soon as Star Wars, it's like, oh man, Star Wars movies are $200, or our Netflix service is $400 a month. As soon as it gets ridiculous, people are just gonna not use it.
Yeah.
I mean this
are
game
they?
is a metaphor.
Or are people gonna be like, oh, I guess this is just what we have to pay for Star Wars now?
No, I think this game is an example. This game didn't sell at all because of the microtransactions. And it put a massive dent in EA's stock.
Yeah.
It
was huge.
9 zeros.
Where the fuck did these guys come from?
I feel like they might be a conglomerate company, and I guess I'm playing devil's advocate here, but I feel like it's really consumers that'll vote with their wallets whether or not they want something.
Yeah, which has always been the case for the most part.
Yeah, unless it gets to the point where people literally have no choice. But I feel like people will always have a choice whether or not to consume entertainment. Like, it's not water, it's not food, it's a movie. Yeah, it's not something you need.
Totally.
This is also bad because it points to an ever-increasing rise of corporatism in America. Because yes, Disney is ultimately a media conglomerate, and really, most of the stuff they put out does not matter except for news. But whatever, in case they own and get into the cable news network, which I don't believe they have yet.
They don't own Fox News or Fox Sports networks.
It's indicative of a greater problem that America has, where there are fewer and fewer companies now because several companies are now just buying everything in the market, and they're placing more and more power into the hands of.
But the thing you miss on that is the fact that it's the corporations no longer are separated by name, but there's thousands of corporations that are A, employed by Disney outside of just Disney, and B, exist in Disney but are named something else. So that's as much as you say yes, okay, Disney owns this. Future Shop and Best Buy were the same company in the same. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's literally Lucasfilm is still a company, right?
Yeah.
All these companies still exist, but they're owned by Disney.
Yeah.
So it just adds to their overall numbers at the end of the day. But what ends up happening is they create different corporations, sub-corporations, almost like a country would. In the same sense that a population of people in a country create businesses and create jobs and everything.
Yeah, I think it's probably because Disney is more of a publicized benefactor than in this business than in most businesses, where the company that owns, the milk carton isn't a company that anybody knows of, but it's still somebody.
Yeah.
There's still a monopoly going on behind the scenes there, but it's not Disney, so nobody knows who they are.
I look at music, for example, because Universal, Warner, and Sony are the three music corporations right now. There was MCA, there was MGM, there was literally RCA. There was hundreds of different music corporations, and all of those had to dissolve into other corporations in order to survive. And so what ends up happening now is you have a bunch of indie labels that are represent artists that use these bigger corporations as their distribution arms or as whatever their means is. And so it's very similar with everything going on with Disney,
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, and we got, other themes of that kind of shit going on through, because also in America this week, I'm skipping over that one, Rory. I know it's going against all your good inside of you to follow the list in order, but net neutrality was also dissolved in the U.S.
Now this is
dangerous.
I think this is one we can all agree on. This is pretty fucked. Does anyone think this was a good idea? Anybody sitting here?
In an idealistic world, yes. In the real world,
right?
No.
In a world where people aren't people and ISPs aren't ISPs, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But no, so what do I you remember? I had that bit, right? So Comcast owns 30% of Hulu, right? Mm-hmm. So Comcast. So this, I feel like this is a nice example to explore it with, provider. Right? Yeah, Comcast, the most reputable top tier service provider. So this is a great example to talk about why net neutrality is, why this is an important issue and why net neutrality is probably something that could be strived for in certain cases. Yeah. So let's say I'm Comcast and
why did you get rid of net neutrality, you fuck?
Have a giant share in Hulu. I want Hulu to do well. Who's Hulu competing with? Netflix? So, Netflix just got slower. Yeah. We don't know what happened.
Or more expensive.
Is this actually a thing?
This is a thing.
They've done it.
This is the thing.
They've absolutely done it in the past.
So you can throttle your speeds for certain websites, right?
Google Wallet.
Which is a problem because, as we've just demonstrated through one example, ISPs often have a conflict of interest when it comes to what websites. So you better hope you like the kind of porn Comcast likes, otherwise.
Well, so essentially, what happened, Jordan? I don't know if you're entirely familiar with it, or even anybody who's watching who isn't entirely familiar with it. Basically, the way it existed with net neutrality and the way it exists in Canada now, because we're in Canada, not in the U.S., is when data is sent and received, your routers and all these different areas that deal with the data are not allowed to... They might be allowed to identify, but they're not allowed to
discriminate,
withhold this information. So, like, you're watching Netflix, there's some data packet sent to, watch a video. Somebody else is uploading pictures of Facebook. Somebody else is reading their email. All this information is pipelined into one thing, and at this point, the service provider is not allowed to identify which data is going where. So there's no priority. There's no, this person gets this first because they're using our service, this person gets this because they're paying more, whatever. It's just all, it's neutral. It's all just neutral data sent everywhere equally. And so the way it is now, they're allowed to identify where services are coming from. So, you're watching Netflix, you're not watching Hulu, that'll be an extra $10 a month. Like, not just your Netflix account, which also costs $12 a month. Now it's an extra $10 to just get
fucking madness.
That. So that's the way it probably will end up in an ideal world where maybe you don't use everything your internet package gives you. Maybe you only need a small chunk of the internet. Maybe you only use Reddit, or maybe you only use your email or something. Then maybe you can get a really, really cheap service that allows you to use that one thing because that's all you use. And you save yourself $80 a month or whatever it is because you don't use the rest of the internet. That's a good thing for the consumer, but once you start segregating all these things effectively into channels like TV is, and different packages and stuff,
which is what they're going to do.
Which is what they're going to do is just going to become ludicrously expensive to own anything on the internet.
It's also worth noting, because this argument gets brought up in favor of getting rid of net neutrality a lot, is the idea that there was once not net neutrality and it wasn't a problem. While that's true, the fact that something has not been a problem does not mean it will not be a problem.
Yeah, well, I think it's not a problem.
Remember the time when there were no car crashes?
Yeah, exactly.
Remember when that wasn't a problem? And then, Henry Ford came out and ruined that for everyone. Now it's car crashes. Good job, Henry Ford. If only we had some buck-toothed fucking idiot in order to come in and ruin everybody's good time on the internet. If only then!
So Adam's referring to the internet's most popular person right now, Ajit Pai, who's the chairman of the FCC. I'll give you 3 guesses as to who appointed him.
Which stands for fucking cunt circle, right?
And
only if you listen to Eminem.
He's had a really rough go of being on the internet.
Good. I hope he gets a terabyte of anal fisting porn sent to his gay anal fisting porn, because I'm sure he's disagreeing with that. And I hope that gets sent to his inbox every single day.
Money to send him anal fisting porn. You want to email me anal fisting porn? That'd be $20 a month.
So, is this going to be
worth every penny?
This is not an issue in Canada yet.
No. This is FCC. This is an American thing.
But it's going to trickle down.
Well, not necessarily.
The Harper government has actually been pretty good when it comes to not doing what Trump is doing.
The Harper or the Trudeau?
Or sorry, the Trudeau. My apologies. I did mean the Trudeau.
I think what the rules we have now were established during Harper's government.
Well, it's also worth noting that this was not the American Congress. This was the FCC. I believe actually Congress advised against this.
Yeah.
Because it's FCC.
Even the American politicians are like, don't do it.
I don't know.
Some of them.
I just don't understand how you can have something in America where it's voted by the government, voted against by the government, yet the corporation has more power than the government.
I can explain this.
It's almost like giving corporations a lot of power is a terrible idea.
This came up when we talked about the ISPs not having to protect the privacy of your information anymore. Or more accurately, being able to hand it out to whatever cola company wanted it. For whatever reason in America, issues like privacy and a lot of technological issues are not issues that politicians seem particularly interested in or have very much control over.
It's not popular.
And so privacy, not even I've learned, because Adam talked about it, because Adam knows about politics, not even a 2/3 majority issue. So you don't even have to have a 2/3 majority. You can pass some shit at 52%.
Rory, it's not guns and it's not beer, and it's not religion. Frankly, it doesn't seem to matter. Let those nerds handle it. I'm too busy playing football and buying a truck and getting my ass reamed apart by the corporations who now own me.
And the only people this
the safe
benefits
word
is ISPs.
Only
right?
Trump America.
There's no secrets about who this benefits. I mean, they came out and said, this is a benefit for consumers, but they've never been able to point to anything.
From I can totally understand it from the ISP perspective because they're at a point now where it's like you have unlimited data. So what benefit now can they add to that? You can add speed to it. Okay, well, we have fiber optic speed right now. So,
maybe fix the infrastructure in America so it's no longer a fucking bloated mess.
Well, also, imagine who's going to pay them, right? Maybe I'm Amazon, and I want to pay this ISP. Imagine all the bribes.
Yeah. I don't know if
it's absolutely nuts.
I don't know if it's noticeable on a consumer end in that case. It's probably noticeable on just the corporative end. It's like, we own Amazon or whatever. We own Hulu, this and that. These services are now faster. Oh, you're the little guy trying to kickstart a new service. Well, good luck because your service is super slow and useless.
You could still bulk order fidget spinners once net neutrality is repealed.
On gregsservices.com.
And
the only place you can order fidget spinners in bulk.
And Aaron, don't forget, you can also watch your favorite TV shows like Fame of Moans and Par Doors, which I can totally use in this video because it's not infringing copyright. I tried to I couldn't actually do that after because I had to be the copyright holder, but I totally tried to infringe that video for copyright violation.
So the reason I brought up Canada earlier is because specifically in Newfoundland, Bell owns all of the cell phone towers in Newfoundland. So, whereas we have a thing now where they can't streamline services, if that was the case, then they could totally take all the bandwidth away from all the providers using their towers. So if you had Rogers or you had
effectively,
Telus,
they would be able to identify who the other providers
are. So Rogers might actually be slightly faster.
No, Rogers would not be faster because Bell would take all the bandwidth for their customers.
Right there. That's where it went over. I can see it.
Anyway,
Rogers
but
sucks.
I think there's pretty stringent laws in place here to not allow net neutrality to just be removed in overnight.
We hope.
So,
I don't know.
and I very much doubt Trudeau's government would do that anyway. I don't like. He's been doing a lot of work going around and cleaning up messes that nobody else has been touching for decades.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to be like, fuck the internet though.
Also, no one worried about being popular is going to do anything to net neutrality now, right? Not for a little while.
Not if you have ears and can see and eyes and can see what's going on with America. It's like what are you doing? That's a good idea, Trump.
But yeah,
as long as we can make more money from the people in poverty, it's fucking crazy, man. That 1% of the world who has 99% of the fucking wealth, there's not going to be any money left for them to make.
Oh, Jordan.
It's almost there now.
You lack imagination. There will always be more money to squeeze.
Well, that's the thing. Eventually, they're going to get to a point where they fucking make it.
I got so many couch cushions.
And it's going to be inflation. It's just fucking... It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, and it totally has to get to that point where it's like, you can't make any more money without fucking the economy. Just this one individual making more money means more money being made means inflation.
But it trickles down, right? That totally works.
But there's nothing to trickle down if there's no source anymore. It's like you've found the beginning of the river and you drank all the water. There's nothing else.
I think what needs to happen is wage caps. And, fuck, whatever. If a corporation wants to be $1 trillion corporation, that's best kind. But I don't think its CEO should get a fucking $1 billion salary every year as a result of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there should definitely be wage caps. I used to work at a company, and the boss would take $500,000 a year from that company, and everybody was like, oh, I commemorate him for doing all that stuff. I'm like, what you fail to realize is that this guy also owns another fucking 20 corporations.
It probably does the
that
same
he's taking $500,000 a year from.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I don't feel any fucking empathy or anything for a guy who's only making this much money. Like, fuck right off. Like, you do not need that much. Like, what are you going to do after you got $1 billion? What are you going to do?
Get another $1 billion.
But what are you going to do with the money?
It doesn't matter.
Open
Jordan,
more
you don't understand.
I do understand.
No, you don't. Clearly you don't,
power.
Jordan.
Yeah, that's
Power's
the point.
more
That's what I'm
important.
trying to get at. The whole point of this entire exercise is not the fact that they're making a lot of money. Bill Gates has made an absurd amount of money.
But he's
with
finally
people...
starting to trickle that back into fucking curing diseases. Like,
yeah, okay, but for the most part,
people of that equivalent level of wealth, it doesn't matter that they've made a shit ton of money, more money than they could possibly know what to do with. They need all of it. They need every single cent that they can wring out of something. They need it all. It's not it's not about the money. It's about having it. It's about having all of it, making sure nobody else has any.
Well, there's also, I mean, yes, there's the extremists. There's that,
assassinated.
but there's also like. You know, on some level of this, there's overhead. You own 20 corporations, you're paying 8,000 employees salaries. Like, that's all overhead. And, like, yes, you're making a lot of money, but a lot of it is being put back into the company invested, that kind of thing. Yeah, and then that's you're just building your business then, and on a ground level, that's just like, that's the basic practice, is you're trying to build your business. Yeah. At some point, it starts to run away from you a little bit, and, like, you're expanding faster than... you can because you have more money than you know what to do with, and I don't know. It just
the way good business work is that all the money's allocated. Like the yearly amount of money that a corporation has nets to zero because it's going to be future invested or whatever it is. Like there has to be a plan for each bit of money. But what ends up happening is, oh shit, we have an excess of $10 billion this year. That's going in the fucking CEO's pocket. Like when they do with their budgeting.
I don't know if they would do that, though.
Well, they do that.
But
That's exactly what they do.
But if you have basic business practices and you're familiar with building like almost a small economy, that money isn't pocketed. It's put somewhere else.
Well, it's
invested.
allocated to the fucking owner of the company.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, I mean,
that's the allocation. Like,
yeah, but that makes sense.
Yeah, but
like you're not just gonna like, guys, we got an extra $10 billion this year. Let's divvy it up. You know. Like,
why not give it to the employees?
I mean, sure. I mean,
the 10,000 employees.
Give it to the poor.
But why wouldn't you then take that money and invest it into stocks or into a business?
Well, there's already money allocated.
Oh my God, there's so many grades.
Yeah, but now you have more. You're turning even a bigger profit on that. Like,
well, I think the big issue
see
is
both
that
sides of it.
These stock markets are so funny because it's like it's all made up numbers, man. It is. The stock market is just like, I just put $10,000 into this corporation, which makes it more valuable, which makes all stock more valuable. Therefore, I can take my money back out and make more money off of it.
To be fair, this is an incredibly complex issue of which none of us are classically educated about. We read stuff on the internet.
Still, either way, it's fuckery.
Don't worry, Adam Facey, the political scientist, and Jordan Coker, the musician, we know how to fix the economy.
Well, I think at some point, putting money into stock, you're going to break it. Like if you put $10 billion into one thing, then you just made that thing worthless.
Look at Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, Bitcoin is blowing up a bit. Is it like $12,000 a coin or something like that?
14 or 15 right now.
So
it's crazy. It doesn't even make sense. It's not a real thing. It's a cryptocurrency.
There's a demand for it.
I know, but it just doesn't make sense.
But I mean, that's the way everything works.
Yeah.
That's the way, you know.
I know. It's just it's absolutely.
There's a demand for gasoline. The price goes up.
I'm gonna start selling my diarrhea online. I think that's what I need.
If you could get a demand for it.
Finally, Rory has something to buy.
Exactly.
So Aaron, tell us about this Crytek story.
Well, Adam brought this up last night actually while he was being incredibly salty while playing GTA.
Man, I'm incredibly salty now. I've been incredibly salty.
I'm just joking. I had to study for exams, but I'm done now, so we can play GTA.
Jordan, every time we ask you to play, you're like, "Oh no, I gotta play South Park Stick of Truth." I'm like, "Yeah, but just play this for now."
I almost got that piece.
I mean, is it fractured or are you playing Stick?
Fractured butthole.
Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, so Adam brought this up. Basically, what happened was Star Citizen, when that started back in 2012, it was being developed on CryEngine 3 specifically. And that's what they were doing everything with. They had a partnership with Crytek for a number of years, and so that's the way the development went. And then more recently, in 2016, they swapped over to Amazon's Lumberyard game engine, which, yes, Adam, is a strain, basically, of Crytek's game engine. It uses a lot of the same processes. It's basically an alternate version of CryEngine, but is in itself a different engine.
So that what I read was right? That was the...
Yes,
okay.
that's correct.
All right. Because for a long time, I was like, oh, I guess I read that wrong.
No, you are correct. I just had never heard that Lumberyard had been derived from Crytek. But there are distinct parts of the game engine. So one isn't entirely interchangeable with the other. You can't just simply port a game over to the other game engine and have it work great. They're two different things now. And so what happened was Crytek somehow managed to data mine that the code. There's 3 lines of code in the game currently in the current build of the game, which isn't out yet. So I'm not entirely sure how this is going to gain any traction. But
how did you get access to this code? We stole it. Wait, no, I meant that. I played the 5th.
Wait, we were developing it on this game engine for 4 years. So anyway, yeah, they found 3 lines of code from CryEngine, and they're now suing them because of the Star Citizen contains assets from their game engine.
Oh my God.
So I feel like Cloud Imperium, the guys making Star Citizen, will just be like, oh, okay, well, we'll just get rid of those.
Yeah.
Like, it's not...
Yeah,
Cloud Imperium, I think, is my favorite Space Marine
one of
region.
those, it depends
That's
on
a
how
joke for all my Warhammer 40k buddies.
You know what I mean? Like that, those 3 lines of code could be like the entire game. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I feel like they can rewrite them, though.
I'm sure.
Guaranteed.
The game is still super unoptimized. They have a lot of work left to do.
There's they got bigger things on their plate.
Yeah, it's like it's not even released, so like you can't. I don't know. You can't sue somebody for.
It's apparently made out of tin.
Yeah, it's like
for an idea that's unreleased, that's unavailable for sale. And...
Also, not too far from this, I like that there's like pirates in this that have stolen Imperial shit.
But they've also stolen like Old Republic shit.
Yeah, I know, it's cool.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
Yeah,
like there's that Naboo Starfighter in it.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
So yeah, this is kind of funny.
It's weird because the game isn't out, but it's also playable to the public. So it's like, is this crossing a line or isn't it?
I think it. I mean, if it's not open if it's playable to the public, I think you could make a pretty strong case that it's crossing the line.
Yeah,
I
feel like Servet Yurley or whatever, whoever the hell's leading Crytek now, is like digging through the code night and day, bloodshot eyes, covered in food pieces, sitting in his basement going, "There it is, Crytek code. Get on it. Get the lawyers on the phone."
Suffice to say that 3 lines is a very small part of the number of lines you need to write a game. So, I mean, someone's pretty good at spotting shit.
I feel like it's Crytek, like Star Citizen, the poster child of indie-developed pseudo AAA space sandbox games, and Crytek was going to have their logo on it, and then they're like, nah, let's go to Amazon. Yeah. And they're like, God damn it, we were going to have this cool-ass fucking sandbox space game with our logo on it. It would have been, our thing, and now it's not. I feel like it's kind of like, almost just like a jab, like they're just trying to get back at them. So, I don't know. I really don't think...
It's pretty funny. I think it's funny.
Yeah, and if the lawsuit goes anywhere, I feel... If it does, I feel like people will just, like... Oh, have more money for the lawsuit.
Yeah,
Chris
exactly.
Roberts.
Yeah.
So anyway. So that's that. Probably get Star Citizen over Christmas, honestly, because they're getting into 3.0 now, and it looks pretty cool. Still super unoptimized, but it's getting to a point where it's almost a game. So that's that.
I wish they'd put stuff out and be finished.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, they put it out because, like, it's at this point, it's pretty well just tested.
You were forgetting it existed.
I guess.
People just beta testing it, yeah.
So are you a pirate right now, stealing the Rebel TIE Fighter?
Well, you're blending in with the First Order.
So you're following these guys.
Yeah. You're trying to get on board this Resurgence class Super Star Destroyer. Is that correct, Adam?
It is a... What, this thing?
Yeah.
This is a Resurgence class battleship.
Okay. Is it not a Super Star Destroyer?
No, it's a battleship.
Oh. So
they keep calling it Star Destroyers and everything because that's what they're used to.
But isn't so was that the one that was in Episode 7?
Yep.
I thought that was a Super Star Destroyer.
Nope.
Oh.
It's 2.9 kilometers long, so it's a little, almost twice as big as the old Imperial class Star Destroyer, but it serves a completely different role in space combat.
Okay. So this isn't the finalizer?
Pardon me?
Is this the finalizer?
No, this is the. They say it in like 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, I probably won't be paying attention by then.
See, I don't know.
The Retribution.
I
That's what
want
it's
I
called.
want to play this
Retribution.
game. Like, I really wanted to play this game because everything they promised.
The Starfighter section is really fun. This is the
Yeah.
best Starfighter controls ever.
It just really pissed me off what they did. That's all. Like, I don't know, like, how to forgive people. You know, especially when they're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
can you give me $80 for this?"
Well, everything they've done with this game since they've pulled the microtransaction out of it has totally been like...
We're sorry, we're sorry, we're
It
sorry.
really is, though. It's like, oh, you're back! Yeah, we're really sorry about what happened last time, man.
Yeah.
Like, I got on the other day to play this, and I had, like, 20 chests to open or whatever, and I got, like, a bunch of superhero cards, like, top-tier cards, a bunch of weapons, about, like, everything. It's just like, here, take this, and this, and this. We got one of these for
We'll come to
you.
your house, we'll make you milkshake, give you a blowjob, it'll be good. No teeth,
Yeah.
we promise.
Even a bit of peanut butter if you want.
Gross.
Christ.
Let the dog lick your nuts afterwards.
But, yeah, it's like, I don't know,
Do
get
those
it on
slag
sale.
and torpedoes ever hit?
Get it on sale, like $20 or something. It's totally worth it.
Yeah, I'll wait for it to go down before I actually buy it.
Like, the story has problems, and I think the problems are more so...
Because it's really short. It's a good
Yeah.
story that doesn't have enough time to develop into the good story that it needs to be. If the story
it
was...
lacks a bit of exposition,
That annoys me.
but it is so good, I think. And it's a lot of fun Star Wars set pieces. Like, even if you ignore the story, there's a lot of cool set pieces that kind of like take place all over the galaxy. So I enjoyed it, and this adds more context to it as well because it takes place during Episode 7. So I like that bit. What else we got here to wrap up on?
Jurassic World 2 trailer, and we got
Is
the...
that out?
Yes.
Yes,
What
I haven't
the
watched it yet.
Fuck!
I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
I really want to know.
What's your opinion on the trailer,
Eh.
Eh?
Okay, so I
that's
really like how
promising.
they're introducing some new dinosaurs. So they're introducing the Carnotaur, which was the only other time we've seen that in the cinematic movie, was the Disney dinosaur movie, which nobody remembers, and for good reason. And we're also seeing the Suchomimus, or the, I think Baryonyx or Suchomimus?
Ah, yes. My favorite.
One of the two. I think it's the Suchomimus because it's a bit bigger than what I think the Baryonyx is, but who knows? It's Jurassic Park. They're not always as accurate as with their dinosaurs as they could be. Everything else kind of looks dumb.
Okay, good.
Is
The
Chris
island
Pratt in it
blow.
again?
Oh yeah, and Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh,
And
that's
how's she
good.
looking?
Not as cool as the dinosaur, so I don't really care.
That sounds promising to me.
It just the whole thing looks to be even more like it's just a terrible trailer. I don't know if the movie's actually going to be bad or not, but the trailer itself is absolutely garbage.
Also got a Ready Player One trailer, another one.
Yeah, that one
That
looks kind of good.
pretty good.
I was not impressed by the second trailer. I was impressed by the first teaser. I was not impressed by the
Well, it's very
actual trailer.
trailery. That's the problem, I think.
Yeah. And
It does everything to grab the reader's attention. Well, that's exactly what a fucking trailer is. So
yeah, I know. I think it's more problems with like maybe the development rather than the actual focus of the film. Like I know the game or the movie takes place inside of a game world for the most of it, but the CG looks kind of
unkillable.
shit.
But I think that's part. Like, that's
To
a
be
part
fair,
of it.
Jurassic World CG looked kind of shit in the trailers, and it was actually not bad when we got to the
Yeah,
movie.
and you know that could or couldn't be. You know, like it might be better, it might not be.
Yeah.
I think like there's some stuff in the trailer that's like I read the book a long time ago and I can't really remember it, but there's just some stuff about it that seems weird. It's like I don't remember this from the book, or like this character, like I don't know.
I feel like that's gonna play a lot to like fan favorites. You know, like the Iron Giant is in the fucking
Chung-Li's in it, Tracer's in it from Overwatch.
I hope they get all the
Chun-Li?
rights.
Yeah.
from fucking.
Street Fighter.
I was gonna say from Pawn Stars.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what the
iconic
fuck?
game character.
The guy who got charged
Chun-Li, the
for...
Street Fighter character.
Everybody's favorite pulp culture character, Chung-Li from.
Well, I thought he was like an actor or something in it. And I was like, yeah, okay.
So Tarantino might be doing a Star Trek film.
I find that weird.
I don't.
No one doesn't find that.
I don't
weird,
think it's gonna work.
for the record.
I don't think
can't wait
J.J.
to-
I'm
Abrams
gonna
and
wait till I get to
Quentin
see-
Tarantino can work together.
The First Order Stormtroopers are the most feared warriors in the galaxy, nigh undefeatable. Raised from birth as
Why
child
didn't you
soldiers.
use clones, General Hux? Oh, well, I raised them to be like the same person. So, clones.
Yeah. Why didn't you use a clone army?
Because it would be more, it would be less expensive and less time consuming.
But they already did that storyline.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is nothing if not interesting, though. I will say that. Like,
I can't wait for 2 hours of talking and then everybody dies in one scene.
I'll be really interested to see what he does with Star Trek. I just think it's... would it be my pick? No, it wouldn't. We all know that, but...
He's a great director.
He's a great director.
He has his own unique style.
He wouldn't be my pick for Star Trek.
Lars von Trier, but I wouldn't peg him for Star Trek.
But I think it'll be interesting, and I think
he would make the worst Star Trek movie.
I fucking guarantee it will be different from every other Star Trek movie.
I'd say it'll be good.
Can you imagine if he makes just like the perfect Star Trek movie? Like if he doesn't do it like Tarantino style, but he's like, I'm just gonna make like
a Star Trek movie. Yeah, like the way they used to do it.
Do you think he will do it?
Oh, I absolutely think he'll do it.
Has he directed any like big franchise movies before?
Fuck no.
Yeah, so it's like I find it weird. It's a weird pairing to me.
It's a weird pairing. There's no doubt.
Maybe he's a big Star Trek fan, so.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So maybe, yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
Remember that scene in Django Unchained where Django was like,
"Man, LaForge is my favorite."
Well, what's interesting is Star Trek requires is someone who's patient with like the politics and intrigue of Star Trek, because Star Trek's not about people blowing each other up in space at fucking all.
That's what
that warp sparkles.
And
that's kind of what's
blah blah blah.
These
are my politics. Well, these are my politics.
So like I don't know. We'll see if Tarantino has a gentle enough touch to treat Star Trek well.
Spoiler alert, he doesn't.
Hey, you know what? On the bright side, there might not be any Beastie Boys in this fucking movie.
Yeah, hopefully.
One of them is dead.
That's alright.
I didn't mean the literal Beastie Boys. I meant the music. The
stupidest part of both movies.
So Ridley Scott.
Of two of them.
Ridley Scott skimmed a news story, and now he wants to make an Alien movie about it.
Man, it's good. This guy's coming up with new ideas all the time.
So,
Florida man kills man for tacos. Alien!
Have a taco coming out of that woman's stomach.
Whose phone's going on? So Ridley Scott read the widely misreported story about Facebook's AI, and decided, he was like, yeah, AI, it seems really like new and dangerous. I want to make Alien less about like aliens and more about AI. I was like, God, what a fucking nightmare this is.
Does he not understand what his fucking movie's about anymore?
If only there were AI in the Alien movie.
Hold on a second now. Like, was it Prometheus and what was the last one that came out?
Covenant.
Yeah, like.
So yeah.
That was all about AI. Am I?
Yeah, already AI has been heavily thrown into the Alien.
It's been
universe.
in all the movies.
The First Order is undefeatable in combat.
It's been a recurring like subject of interest. Traitor. But I guess he's trying to introduce more of it.
In the first movie, the AI dude went insane, didn't he?
No.
Did he not?
No, do you mean the android?
Yeah.
The reason that he acted like that in the movie is because he received updated orders from the company.
Oh, okay.
That basically told him to disregard, like, investigate this life form, return it at all costs, crew's life expendable, and that's why he did what he did.
Well, okay, but you're still turning it into like the robot kills human storyline, which it sounds like he's doing again.
Well, it sounds like what he's going for. What he did was what happened was we should delve into this at least a little bit because it's worth talking about. There was an AI test that Facebook ran. If you don't know about Facebook beyond what the obvious use of Facebook is,
it's a collection of ads and photos from people you don't care about.
Well, there's that, but the much more interesting thing Facebook is doing is Facebook has a really impressive like AI research initiative, and they developed this essentially. You'll get these kind of things very often. These bots that perform a task and they get better at the task by doing it. It's a process. It's actually my area of interest in AI, which is reinforcement learning. So the way it works is, instead of teaching a bot how to do something, being like, this is how you do it, this is how you don't do it.
This
and like
is how
slowly
we do
guiding
it.
it through its procedures.
Rory came up with a
Rory,
I'd like to jump the gun here.
And so I apologize for this, but I got to mention it. Rory's actually invented an entirely new way of getting AI to learn called the Pepsi positive reinforcement technique, where if an AI does well, it gets a Pepsi. It's been shown to be 50% more effective than all other forms of positive reinforcement heuristic learning techniques for AI.
So the way reinforcement learning works is the AI learns by doing. And at the end of its set of actions, it gets a positive or negative reward.
Like
so, for instance, I wrote a blackjack AI that does this. So it learns how to play blackjack. So let's say it's at 19, right? Presuming the audience knows how to play blackjack. It hits at 19. It's going to lose. Hits at 19 again, it loses. Hits at 19 again, it loses. Eventually it figures out, I'm not supposed to fucking hit on 19. And
why can't you just... So the idea is to create a learning AI, not one that already knows something.
Yes, it learns. Yes, that's precisely it. So...
Because you could just tell it to not hit on 19 because you're an idiot if you do that.
Well, yes, yeah, if you're really...
Well,
but the idea is...
Typical AI would be in input-output.
Yeah, but it would be like, okay, I'm at 19, the probability of getting a 21 here is like 3%, don't hit.
It learns. This learns by doing, right? So, it's a big part of what I don't know if you guys know about AlphaGo or the board game Go, but Google made these headlines about a year ago because their AlphaGo program beat the world champion at Go, which was previously. Go is such a fucking complicated game. It was like, man, for AI to do this would be impressive. So Go has 10 to the 170 different states it could beat at any given time, which is like a lot of fucking states.
Family-friendly game.
Right? Way more than like checkers or some shit like that. And so that uses reinforcement learning, right? So what Facebook did was they had these reinforcement learning bots, and they learned how to do things. Right?
John, I dare say, my 32nd on the 400th rook is at an impasse with your 87th on the 12th.
I sacrifice my pawn in order to summon elemental hero Shining Knight's Queen.
So it's a board game. It's like advanced chess. It's like quite advanced chess, right? Even if you just saw it, you'd be like, "Holy shit!"
Is it multi-level chess or
parking garage board game?
So Facebook had these reinforcement learning bots that were running some sort of like getting better at negotiation protocol or something. But so anyways, one of the things they didn't include is a reward for sticking to the rules of English grammar. So the bots ignored the rules of English grammar just to be a little more efficient, right? So just to say different things. Like I could say the sentence, "I will give you 5 oranges in this basket." Or I could say the sentence, "Orange times 5 in basket." Right? Which is more efficient. That's an arbitrary example I fucking made up, but just to illustrate the point.
Oh, I thought you meant like abbreviating.
We're just getting some Skyrim level
dialogue.
So it had no...
I will give 5 oranges.
So since it wasn't rewarded for sticking to grammar, it didn't stick to grammar. And this headline fucking got so...
I remember this.
Ass backwards distorted. By the time it made it to, like, popular news, it was... Facebook's AI goes rogue and has to be shut down for inventing a new language that people can't decipher. Which is not what happened. And if you read the things, it's like, okay, well, that's not proper grammar, but it's not this, indecipherable Skynet machine crap. Or whatever people think it was.
The thing I read on the site that I read it on was they said...
to be that, though. And I think that's people's concern with fucking AI, is that, like, it did something...
He died.
It did something without being told to do something.
So does a child.
Okay, so here's the thing. It did something without being told to do something, but you could have... The reason they shut it down is because they were like, we should fix this so it speaks English.
Yes.
Like, the thing about programming, it's a law of programming that it can't do something it wasn't, like, told to do. Like, they may not have intended it to do that, but it was in its programming and can be changed.
But it goes back to the whole lack of saying something is the issue. So if you do not cover all of your bases... then there's a possibility for...
You've got to be a top-level programmer. Like, if you're
Stop spotting there, for fuck's sake!
That. It's like... Eventually, it's going to get to a point where you need to cover literally
all your bases.
A to Z. Which is humanly impossible.
Well, the good thing about that is that, for the most... The AI that we develop... are not hooked into anything malicious. But if they were hooked into, let's just say, weapons. Fuck it, because that's what everyone's worried about, really, right? At the end of the day. is that the programmers doing that would be so cautious. If AI ever do anything bad, it's going to be intentional. It's not going to be by accident.
Well, that's
I really
the
do
issue,
believe.
I think.
But of course, people can intentionally do bad things with all kinds of shit now.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, Putin said a little while ago that the next arm race is going to be AI, and I think that's correct because I think the nation that has the most sophisticated AI to control weapons and defenses, and even using algorithms based on a wide range of input data to essentially, try to as accurately as possible predict all the belligerent nations' actions. By looking at news and the economy and politics and all that kind of stuff, blah blah, is going to have a distinct advantage over other nations. Now we're not nearly there yet, but that's
that's humans, right? To clarify, that's humans.
Yes,
doing
that's humans
something.
fucking around with AI. Nukes, nukes don't kill people. Blah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly
More power
right.
to Putin for coming out and saying that, because the last I checked, it was a jog, not a race.
I
just saw videos of like Russian robots riding quads, and they're like 2 miles an hour, and they follow.
Well, that's the thing. The idea, I think it's way overblown. The idea that AI will accidentally rise up. If the AI rise up, it's because some asshole programmed it to rise up.
That's the issue. Is like, as if the technology exists right now, like it's there's 2 arguments for it, right? It's the power of something that is capable of learning, and we as humans are bad enough with that power. So if we're gonna instill that into something that fucking
fuck off with your fucking flamethrower, it's the future.
It's not innately dangerous though. A human learning isn't dangerous.
No, it's not. But that's what I'm saying. But some humans learning is dangerous. But now you're introducing another level of that danger by putting it into like it's if you program an AI that's supposed to be malicious to not. Like, towards, I don't know, let's say it's an animal it's an AI that captures dogs and puts them in the pound.
Okay, sure.
But if you program that AI to say, like, you know what? A human doing something that a dog did wrong, like, I don't know, a guy bites somebody or something, like in a fight.
Okay, I'm with you.
Then if it's not programmed to say, do not fucking take this don't apply to humans, then it would,
But that wouldn't happen by accident. Because no one's that dumb.
But people are that dumb.
I will agree with
No
Jordan.
one programming AI is that dumb. People are that dumb. But programming AI, you're dealing with a top tier of human intelligence.
You hope so.
There's still going to be some...
You're in it.
There's still going to be something
yes.
that...
Well, I'll admit my statement was a little self-serving. But
I won't do it, so nobody else
it's like...
the problem I have with it, Jordan, is not the fact that this will happen on accident. I agree with Roy. The problem I have is that people are going to do it on purpose. But
to be fair, isn't that what everyone's worried about North Korea doing with their missiles? Is doing some bad shit on purpose. Totally. People have been doing bad shit on purpose for years.
But funny enough, the people of North Korea are almost like AI, programmed by a fucking regime.
Well, luckily, nobody there.
He doesn't have a bad point.
Saying.
If we're talking about positive and negative reinforcement,
exactly, and so it's a similar situation.
Similar.
Now we're adding but you can make a machine that's more powerful than a human. Is the point of it? Like if I'm down to a fist fight with a person and it's life or death situation, then like adrenaline's gonna kick in and hopefully I'm gonna fucking survive that situation. But if we create something that can be like, motherfucker, I'm smarter than you right now because I've learned through processing or whatever the case may be, then that's potentially a lot more dangerous. There's a lot.
I understand that it's if humans get a hold of it to use it maliciously, it's a lot more malicious than some of the shit we have now.
Exactly.
There's no doubt about that.
And I'm not against the forward thinkers when it comes to artificial intelligence because it would be fucking cool if some robot could fucking go out, literally learn everything that we don't know right now, and fucking teach us shit. That'd be fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like, that is the potential of AI.
It's worth noting the world champion at Go, that AlphaGo beat, since playing that program, he's gone on a 22-game win streak. Because he probably learned in real life. Like, he probably learned shit from playing that program. And was like, man, I could fuck people up with this knowledge. Right?
I've seen enough Spider-Man to know where that guy's
going.
I've become Electro, master of magnetism.
So, like, but sort of the reason I brought this up was because I think it's funny that we looked into this and Ridley Scott didn't. Like, Ridley Scott just skimmed a headline and just
to be fair,
made a movie about it.
That headline does make good science fiction.
I mean, fuck,
fiction.
You're right. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
He's already done it. Do a different franchise. Why does it need to be an Alien movie?
Why not Gladiator 2?
To be real, I kind of like Aliens and my Aliens more than I like the AI
virus.
bit. Because we explore the AI bit and all kinds of other fucking science fiction.
Yeah.
Keep Alien being Alien.
Before it's called AI Alien.
Please make an Alien movie that's fucking scary. Make an Alien movie that has the tension of like an old school Alien film. You know what I mean? That's what I want. That's what I want. Ideas don't make good movies, right? That's just true. Like lots of great ideas are executed like shit.
That's
right?
I think that's a strong statement. Some ideas make great movies.
Let me guess, we're gonna plunge.
No, what I'm saying is ideas by themselves don't make great movies. You know what I mean? You need good execution. Yeah. There's lots of every fucking person I know has an idea for a movie. Everybody I know has an idea for a TV show. Everyone I know has an idea for a game. It's how you can put that forward. Like, and for that matter, lots of perfectly regular ideas make great games. Let's face it, the narrative of Dishonored 1 is not the world's most groundbreaking thing. It's not new, no. But it's the execution that makes that game good. Yeah. And it's the same with movies. There's lots of mediocre looking movies that make, like, you look at the premise, it's nothing thrilling. Yeah. And on that note, there's a lot of sexy premises, like in games, especially No Man's Sky, you remember? Oh, this is a great premise.
Yeah, it totally is execution. I agree, yeah. Because, I mean, you can look at it now. I mean, you have multiple space games coming out right now. You have, Elite, you have Star Citizen, you have...
That's right.
You have another one, was it Battlestar, or not Battlestar, I don't know, there's some other space game I was showing, I can't remember the name.
I know it as well, but I don't remember the name.
And all those, I don't know about that game in particular, but like Star Citizen and Elite, I know it's the execution that nails the atmosphere and gets that idea right.
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas No Man's Sky, it has all the back of the box features, but there's like no context in the game to really, and it's better now. They've updated it a bunch since it's come out, but it's still really not like what you were expecting. So it totally is the execution of the ideas, not just the idea. So I agree.
I think that's pretty much it for this week's. We had a pretty news-filled podcast. We didn't even get to a lot of the stuff from like the Game Awards because we missed last week's podcast. Suffice to say, Death Stranding got a lengthy trailer, which I'm sure most people have seen by now.
Wait, hang on.
Be really quiet.
What? What's that?
He's doing the little thing on the back of the.
Remember, we got to be real quiet.
You're still. With that noise, I thought it was TIE fighters. So I got it though. See, isn't this cool? Isn't this cool? I thought this was cool.
This is cool.
Because they had this Resurgence class Star Battle thing on its way to Starkiller Base to, I guess, fight the Resistance, and it never made it there.
They wanted the robot octopi behind.
Yeah. Garg. Oh yeah, little baby Viper droid.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah, I like that.
So I guess that'll do it.
Yeah, and we'll be back next week with some more. Will we be back next week? Yeah, we will.
Yes.
With Andrew.
I guess so, yeah. Presumably, yes.
Yeah, featuring Andrew.
And we'll give you some, presumably, hopefully by that point, Andrew's seen Star Wars.
Will I be there?
And we'll be able to talk about it.
Will I be there?
Jordan might be there.
Who knows?
And we'll see.
Who fucking knows?
I do, because you're not going to be there.
Alright.
Alright, later.
Well, we'll see everybody. Bye.
Sector clear, Resistance base. No sign of the First Order yet. Wait. Contact!
No contact. This is Shriv Shurgov, clearance code 73 Tau. We are friendlies, requesting permission to land. Please do not shoot us.
Landing request denied.
Well, I said please.
Stand by for instructions.
It'll be okay. We just have to explain what's going on to General Organa.
Shriv, I received your message. That means you must be Zay. I'm terribly sorry to hear about your mother. She was a complicated woman, but the galaxy was far better with her in it.
Thank you, ma'am. It's very kind of you to say.
We brought you something, General. Schematics for the First Order Dreadnought. Transmitting it now.
I'll get these over to Commander Dameron for analysis right away.
I'm ready to join the fight, General.
I know you are, but the Resistance is evacuating. The First Order is coming for us. Instead of taking them head-on, I have an urgent mission for you. We have allies in the Outer Rim. I need a team to go find them. I know you're tired. I know you've already fought and lost so much, but I need you to keep going. Can you do that?
You can count on us, General.
Good luck, Inferno Squad.